Taurus, welcome to your May 2018 RuneScope with me. My name is Amanda. This month, in conjunction with the runes, I will be using one of my favorite decks, the beautiful Tarot Art Nouveau Premium Edition. It is by Linnea Weatherstone and Antonella Castelli. Then, as always, be sure to join me for part 2 of your May RuneScope over on my Vimeo channel. You'll find the link below in the box. I will be pulling one card from the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. I love this deck so much. That will give us some additional wisdom and guidance on how to deal with the energies for you in May. But let's jump in, Taurus, and see what is coming up. If this is your first visit to my channel, welcome. If you find that my readings are resonating with you, please do click the subscribe button. That will ensure that my new content goes to your subscription feed. Which runes want to talk to my Tauruses for May 2018 for Taurus? What's going on? As always, Taurus, keep in mind these are general readings, so some of these messages are going to be for the other Taurians that are watching. If you would like something that is far more specific, you can, of course, always get a private session with me. I do those on Skype. They are $70. Just drop me a line at runescopesforyou@gmail.com. You'll find that here in the video and also below. You can also check out the video for your rising sign as well to get additional messages and information in general for the month. And actually, sometimes you'll probably find that your rising sign reading is more accurate because your rising sign or ascendant, it's the same thing, is more specific to your personal birth chart. So just keep that in mind. But in general, for Taurus, what's going on? Challenge or focus. That's where we always begin here. We've got the Four of Rods in reverse. So there could be some challenges around home or family to do with a cooling off period or a separation with Esau here. So, and this could be something that has happened already that you're still dealing with in May. We had quite a tumultuous month in April. Or we are having quite a tumultuous month in April. I'm recording these in April, but so this is leftover energy, carryover energy into May. You could have been quite hurt by a family member or a partner or someone that you live with. And you could have taken a break. You could be not speaking. You know how after a fight or an argument, we'll just kind of take a break. But the Four of Rods in reverse, it's still not a bad card. So, I mean, for those of you that this has happened, for most of you, I feel like, you know, either you're glad it's over, you know, and you're just kind of dealing with the fallout of that. You're kind of trying to figure out what you want to do next as far as like if someone has moved out of the home. You know, you're kind of, you will get this stability back, but maybe you just haven't started on that yet in May. But Aeol is here indicating vulnerability and feeling like maybe someone took advantage of you or they just really hurt your feelings. Some of you may have hurt yourself or injured yourself around the home in a physical way. Maybe you fell or you tripped or you know, so if something like that happened and you're kind of laid up, maybe you sprained something or broke something, Lord forbid. If that hasn't happened, please do be careful, especially if you're working around the house, if you're on ladders and things or getting up on the roof for whatever reason. I mean, you know, definitely make sure that you know, take precautions or maybe wait a little bit or hire a professional to do that because, yeah, it kind of seems like, you know, if this is not like relationship issues or troubles, you know, there could be something that is physical and you being particularly vulnerable to that or putting yourself in a vulnerable, like an accident-prone situation. So just keep that in mind, Taurus. In the present energy, so this would be, for some of you, whenever you're watching this video, or April going into May, We do have the Five of Swords. So this is argument energy again. So I do feel like for the majority of you, remember there are many, many of you watching. For the majority of you, this is, the Five of Swords is winner takes all. This is a war. We are seriously fighting. So this is some argumentative energy. This is definitely combative. Maybe to do with somebody being very selfish, or someone may be calling you selfish, Taurus. These energies can always work both ways. And someone is stubborn in their refusal. And Taurus, you do have a reputation for being stubborn. Just for stubborn's sake sometimes. Even when you know you're wrong or you've been proven wrong, you're not gonna admit that. So, I mean, it could be you. But I mean, it could also be someone else that you're you know, there's just been a knockdown, drag out, kind of blow up fight. And it does seem for most of you, either it's already happened in April or it's happening here at the beginning of May. For some of you, this could have been a broken or called off engagement. Because the Four of Rods in the upright for me is very much a wedding card or a celebration card. So you could have, or you maybe postponed a wedding date, or someone said, maybe, hey, I'm not ready for that. You know, can we postpone it? You know, and depending on who you were in that scenario, you know, it's going to depend on, you know, who you are individually here and how it's affecting you specifically. But it could be someone connected to you too, like one of your kids, but definitely someone connected to your family or domestic situation. So they either live with you or you're so close to them that a broken engagement or a breakup, separation, divorce, this can be also would be affecting you because you care about this person. But now there's good runes around this though. So I do feel like this is either you're glad to be out of this situation, if it is a relationship that's ending or a breakup. Or for others of you, if it was just an argument, you're going to get back to, now this could also be like, you know, you're fighting, it's a couple fighting, and, you know, somebody could just be throwing some words out, but they can be hurtful, right? So be very careful with your words, Taurus, in May, because it's like somebody could say, I want a divorce, or I don't want to marry you, or I'm breaking up, you know, and here's your ring, and you know, things said in the heat of the moment, but then you come back around, circle back around, and like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. But somebody may be very stubborn in admitting that they were wrong, but it does seem like that's what it's going to take. However, for some of you, I feel like this is kind of a breakthrough. Like this happening is really maybe helping you see all sides of someone. And I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I'm not saying that this is not someone that you would want to be with if they apologize and you're able to make up, as it were. But I mean, it could be a side of someone you haven't seen before, and you do have to consider that. But I feel like for most of you, this is not too serious because you've got, you know, ingwas and happiness and joy and a new beginning, new opening up, a renewal. That is happening here. Some of you could be divorcing to be with someone else. So you're trying to hurry up and get this process over with so that you can be with the person that you want to be with and start this new relationship. You've got a lot of runes of luck and new beginnings and really positive relationship progression. So yeah, I feel like this is specific maybe to couples this month. If you're single, again, this could be somebody like a roommate or someone who lives with you or someone close to you who is, you know, dealing with some tumultuous relationship stuff, and maybe you're just helping them through this. You're you know, being there for them. Those of you that broke up with somebody in the past though, and it'll be different for all of you how long ago this was. I feel like for most of you this is recent though. If you're single right now, I mean, there could be somebody coming back you know, trying to renew something after a really painful breakup, or a broken engagement or a broken commitment of some sort. So it'll be up to all of you if you give this person a chance, or you could be the one trying to renew, rekindle an old relationship. I feel like for most of you though, this is very couple centric for those of you that are especially planning weddings or engaged or wanting more of a commitment. Just be careful with your words and maybe try to keep things on the, you know, level, and you can avoid this altogether. That's how these readings can work in the positive is, you know, if you take the advice offered, you could avoid this knockdown, drag out altogether, or at least maybe temper the intensity of it. We can't always do that, but you know, because sometimes we just feel like I have to say this, you know, or you know, emotions take over. The help that's going to be available to you though is really great because you have the Eight of Pentacles. So, I mean, this is, you know, if there are problems at home, you're definitely throwing yourself into your work. You're very excited about a project. Maybe you are meeting with somebody about a new role or expanding your role, being promoted, because this can talk about definitely expansion and moving up to a position perhaps of more responsibility, but also learning something new. So, and this is also the rune of the job interview. So many of you could be interviewing for a new position, either at your existing company in order to move up, or at another company here. And I mean, you have Wunyo here too. So this would be something you're very excited about, something you enjoy doing, or the kind of job that you've been wanting that will use more of your talents and skills, your abilities. Some of you may be going to school or getting ready to go into, like you're doing the preliminary interviews, you're taking the exams to get in because you do have, this is also a rune of academics. And this is also a card of learning too. It's traditionally the card of the apprentice. So yeah, you could be enrolling in a certification program, or it could be your job that is either giving you a chance to take this certification, maybe they're paying for it, maybe there's a tuition reimbursement. This is going to be hard work, but it is something that you really want. So those of you that are learning something, enrolling in school, or moving up in the, as far as your position at work, it looks really good. That's actually going to kind of be your escape. If things in your personal life are a little bit tumultuous, you are going to really throw yourself into this. That's going to help you kind of get through maybe the more difficult aspects of the month. You're going to have, you know, you're going to be working a lot, but enjoying the work, or putting a lot of focus into this. Many of you could be enrolling in some sort of program that will give you like a communications certification, or it could have to do with IT. And you know, pretty much everything does these days, but this is definitely also an internet rune or technology rune, but also communication, the mouth, the written word, the spoken word, public speaking, teaching, anything where you would be directing communication or helping communication be directed to others through technology. So that's pretty awesome. And an Eight of Pentacles is also a raise comes with this. So if you are moving up into a new position, it definitely does seem that there's a raise in store with this in title as well as in financial, your salary. Now, what must be accepted about the month of May? We've got the Four of Swords in reverse. So you're not going to be able to, I think we were talking about kind of stepping back or retreating if you could. I don't think many of you are going to be able to do that, because this is a card of just not being able to retreat from battle, not being able to kind of go into your hidey hole and not engage. It does seem like there's something where you have something to say and it needs to be said, because you don't like the way things are progressing. And again, for many of you with Gifu here, this has to do with a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a partner. It could be a business partner, but again, with this, it seems someone closer than that, someone more personal, more involved in your personal life than your professional life. Because yeah, I just kind of see you like, oh my God, I just want to go home and like totally not have to deal with this. But I have to talk to this person. That could also be anyone you have a close emotional bond with. It could be a family member, could be an older relative, a parent or a grandparent. For some of you, maybe it is an older relative that has hurt themselves. We were talking about someone who hurt themselves physically by, you know, falling or having an accident or something. This could be an older relative who is either living alone and just, or maybe there's a car accident, they won't stop driving, but maybe they have a condition where, you know, they've been told they shouldn't be driving. And maybe that's what's going on here. It's like, we need to talk about either like an assisted living for this person, or we gotta take their keys away, or, you know, and they're not having it. So, I mean, it could be that, that kind of energy, Taurus, where you're trying to kind of parent someone who's older than you, or your own parent, because it's time for that, and they're not, you know, they're resistant, or they're being very stubborn and not, you know, they don't care. They don't want to do that, because it is kind of like a giving, you know, it's a difficult adjustment. You're giving up your independence, you're giving up and admitting that, you know, you're at that stage, right? And I just feel like somebody out of pride is maybe having trouble doing that for some of you. But the majority, this is going on within a partnership, but it may have to do, maybe the argument starts over extended family or in-laws or children. You know, it could be an ex that you used to live with, but you share children with. And, you know, if you do, though, I do feel like there's a new relationship blossoming here, and that you're wanting to move forward, or have this person move in, and maybe your ex is like, I don't want this person around my kids, or maybe you're saying that to them. There's just something about a disagreement over extended family or children that escalates into something else, and something is said to where you're just like, oh, hell no. You know, or maybe this is going on for some of you with other members of the family, and you're trying not to get involved, but you're like, they keep trying to pull you in. They keep trying to pull you into the argument. So this is not serious, though. Again, for most of you, Taurus, I feel like this is just a temporary energy, but because we're just talking about 1 month, this is the biggest challenge of the month, right? But these are all minor arcana. I don't feel like this is, you know, this is maybe just a few days, and then, you know, for most of you, it's over. 10 of Rods is how you end the month. So you've got a lot on your plate. You got a lot of work. I feel like once you, like, while all of this personal stuff is going on, you're also, you know, moving up with work, or your education or your career is really making a lot of progress, so that by the end of the month, you're going to be too busy to deal with all this personal stuff. So, I mean, if you can get it out of the way, you know, at the beginning of May, that would be great. But, you know, you may not be able to. It just depends on when it kind of comes to the forefront, right? Or comes to the front burner based on other people's actions. That's out of our hands. We can only kind of, you know, we can only control our reaction to other people. So it's going to kind of depend on when they're, you know, causing these problems or whatever. But the 10 of Rods, you know, it's not a bad card. It just means you're going to be very busy and have a lot on your plate. You can handle it, though, when this is in the upright. You know, you've got a lot to do, but it's nothing you can't handle. But I do feel like you're not going to have a lot of time for BS. You know, you're not going to have time to be burdened by other people's kind of emotional outbursts or petty arguments and disagreements and things. So, but all in all, it really does look like a good month, Taurus. I mean, you are, whatever this situation is, it will be resolved, and resolved in a very positive way. But yeah, just maybe remember to temper your words, and and gauge your reactions, you know, so they won't prolong something. Or you definitely, the number one thing is you don't want to say something in May that you can't take back. That would be the number one kind of message here I'm getting for May. Because it's just a temporary kind of glitch or speed bump in a relationship for most of you. And the end result is actually, you know, quite positive. And you've got so much going on at work that you know, you have joy and happiness, and it's really exciting. New beginnings with work, and you don't have time for this. So that's what I see for May. Very, very busy month. You are at the completion of some burden though when a 10 comes up. There's something, and that would fit with this, like you're ending one job to start another, or you're ending one phase to go into another. Particularly when it comes to actions and what you do in your day-to-day. There's a new beginning coming. If it doesn't come in May, you know, you could be interviewing in May, but then starting this job or this program or this class in June or beyond. Some of you may be going in the fall, but it does seem like for many of you, this is a shorter like program. You could be finding out that you're getting into the school you want though for fall. Definitely, because just remember we've got the interview rune here. So you're either interviewing for a job or you are talking to someone face to face, and you know, you got to finish up. Some of you, it may just be like, okay, I got in for fall, I've got my interview under my belt, or I'm going in May, and then I've also got exams. So I've got a lot, you know, so much to do studying. And then, you know, if you're fighting with a boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe they're like, oh my God, you know, I haven't seen you in forever. And that's what maybe starts the argument. And you're like, well, I have exams and I'm trying to get into this other, you know, I'm trying to get into this school I really want to go to. Somebody may be feeling ignored or like you don't care about them. And really, you're just really busy with career and school stuff. So that's what I see here for May, Taurus. But like I said, meet me over on Vimeo. I am going to shuffle the beautiful Fairies Oracle by the legendary Brian Froud. And we will see what further guidance, wisdom, and advice we can get for you over there. The Vimeo link is below in the box. Just click or tap that little arrow beneath. And I'll see you over there, and I will see you back here next month. Thanks for watching.